The first thing UK government did is to announce the help they can provide to the people who were in a job. But they took time to announce the help they could provide for the self-employed. Now, why did it take so long, and what help are finally available? Now, to find these answers, we have invited Sundeep Bhatia, who is an expert in employment law, and he's been practicing for last 28 years. Welcome, Sundeep, to this platform. Now, first of all, let's explain what is self-employment.
Well, if you work for someone else as an employee, then your employer is going to give you your salary each month with things like national insurance deducted and your tax deducted. Whereas someone who is self-employed is paid everything by their customers or clients. And at the end of the year, they have to account themselves to HMRC for the tax payable, and they're responsible for the national insurance payable and the VAT on what they sell. So those are people who are, I suppose you could say, their own bosses or self-employed.
Now, I always believe self-employment is good because they're creating jobs for themselves, they're creating business for themselves, and at most of the times they're creating jobs for others as well. So now finally something is out there. So what kind of help the government is providing to the people who are self-employed?
Well, the first point is the Self-Employment Income Support Scheme, which aims to pay 80% of a self-employed person's profits up to a maximum of £2,500 a month. And the scheme is going to initially cover the period from the 1st of March for a period of 3 months. And obviously there's a way of calculating what those profits are, and there is a ceiling on those profits of £50,000 per annum. If someone has been in employment for a period of time and has filed 3 tax returns for the years 2016 to 17, 17 to 18, and 18 to 19, then what will happen is that their profits over that period of time, provided they are below £50,000, they will get an average of what they are over a year, divide them by 12, and 80% of that figure is what a self-employed person would get so that is how it is calculated. A person, to be eligible for that scheme, has to be self-employed or a member of a partnership. They must have lost trading or partnership trading profits as a result of the coronavirus. They must have filed a tax return for the year 2018 to 19 as self-employed or as a member of trading a partnership. And those who haven't yet done that have got a cut-off period, I think, until the 23rd of April of this year to do so. They must have traded in the tax year 2019 to 2020, be currently trading at the point of making an application, or would be were it not for coronavirus. And they must plan on continuing to trade in the tax year 2020 to 2021. And as I've said, they must have trading profits of under £50,000, and more than half of their income must come from self-employment.
Now, the people who are in a job and they're given furlough, they cannot go and work, right? Now, is the same principle applies to the people who are self-employed?
As I basically, if you are employed and you're made subject to the furlough under the coronavirus job retention scheme, which applies to those who are employed, then when you're on a period of furlough, you're not allowed to do any fee-paying work or provide services for your employer. However, where you are self-employed, you're not prevented from doing work. You can carry on working, but to claim, you just have to show there's been a loss of your trading profits due to coronavirus. So a self-employed person can carry on working and can still claim, provided they can show that loss in their trading profits.
Now let's get this clear. A self-employed person can be working during the month of March to June and still claim the benefit.
Yes, provided that all the other matters I've said about who is eligible apply, and that there is a loss, as I've said, to their profits as a result of the coronavirus.
Now I believe that a self-employed who is profiting more than 50,000 a year cannot seek this help. Now say this scenario prolongs, this coronavirus situation. It goes beyond June, like July, August, September, October. Even they will get a hit. Their lifestyle will get a hit. Now, how will they sustain? What will happen to them?
Well, I think there's 2 points arising out of what you said. Number one is that provisions that have been announced up to date do not cover everybody. There are gaps, as has been shown. If somebody's got more than £50,000 of profits a year, it seems that they are not covered by this scheme. So yes, there are definitely gaps there. So far as surviving, I suppose everybody takes a financial hit so far as these things are concerned, which is regrettable. I don't know if we're going to have more announcements from the government, but obviously that's a political point rather than someone such as myself who's trying to fathom out what they're doing and what they're planning on doing. In fact, this particular scheme, since it has been announced, there hasn't really been any more information or updates. The actual scheme itself, whereby people can claim, is not going to come into operation until June. So yes, you're right. People have to fend for themselves until June before they can get those payments under the scheme from HMRC.
Or if they want to complain or raise a voice, where can they go?
I presume they can speak to their local MP and raise those objections and the problems that they are facing, because I think the pressure that can be put on at this period of time is probably political.
Now, there are a lot of self-employed people who are working week by week. They are earning week by week. Now, if they are isolated and they cannot go to work, what help they can get?
Yes, they have made it easier to claim certain types of benefits in the interim period in order to assist and help. And this obviously may help those who've got profits of more than £50,000. What they're doing is, so far as universal credit is concerned, the minimum income threshold for universal credit is going to be temporarily removed from the 6th of April for what's said to be the duration of the outbreak for those directly affected by COVID-19 or in self-isolation. It will be available to those affected by COVID-19 or in self-isolation with no need to attend a job centre. And this measure is designed to provide compensation for any income losses. And the Chancellor is raising the payments for universal credits that a self-employed person can receive the same amount as someone on statutory sick pay, which is £95.25 a week. I think for self-employed before that it was £86. But those with savings of at least £16,000 are not eligible for any support via universal credit, and they would have to wait until they've gone through their savings. There's also some provisions which have been made regarding employment and support allowance, and a new style employment support allowance is going to be available to those directly affected by COVID-19 or in self-isolation, provided that they've paid enough national insurance contributions in the last 2 to 3 years. The benefit would be payable from the first day of sickness rather than the 8th day. At present, single claimants under the age of 25 can claim up to £57.90 a month, while those aged 25 and over can receive up to £73 and 10 pence. Also, HMRC have launched a helpline for businesses and those who are self-employed, and businesses may be eligible to receive financial support on a case-by-case basis through the time to pay support scheme. And there's a dedicated helpline open from Monday to Friday if people have concerns and need to get in touch. I've got a telephone number here if people want to use that telephone number, which is 0800 024 1222. And I've got the opening hours. They're actually 8 till 4 on Monday to Friday. And apparently HMRC will waive penalties related to late payments and interest in cases where a business has administrative problems in contacting HMRC or paying taxes as a result of COVID-19. And the self-employed will be able to defer the payment of their self-assessment tax return. I think that would have been due in July until January 2021. There is a coronavirus business interruption loan scheme administered by the British Business Bank, which supports businesses in accessing bank loans worth up to £1.2 million and overdrafts via some 40 accredited lenders. And self-employed people with an annual turnover of up to £45 million can apply under the scheme, provided they operate through a business bank account and generate over 50% of their turnover from trading activity. And another point is that there are going to be some reforms regarding a system called IR35, and those people viewing it who know what IR35 is and work under that system, those changes are not now going to be implemented until April of next year. They were supposed to have been implemented in April of this year. So those are some of the other small things the government is doing to help those who are self-employed.
Now, is there a required time length where a person qualifies as a self-employed? For example, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year?
No. Ideally, they want to go through 3 years of accounts, but if only 1 year is available, then they'll go on the basis of 1 year of accounts. But yes, ideally they're looking at 3 years.
Say a self-employed person who is struggling to pay his rent or mortgage or things like that, what help they can get?
I think the government, I think this from memory applies to employed and self-employed people. They've said to mortgage companies that they should give their customers perhaps holidays from paying for a period of 3 months, and it doesn't hurt their credit history, so that they're given a bit more time to pay what's owing. So that's some small concession which the government, I think, has talked to mortgage companies about providing to their borrowers.
So I believe there will be procedure how to claim. So can you explain us how the process will be?
It's going to be an online process. HMRC, I think, are going to make a portal available in June of this year. And what will happen is I think they're going to write to those who can possibly claim under the scheme and invite them to make an application. And I think it's incumbent upon those who are self-employed to calculate the amount which is payable, which will be paid. But then obviously what happens is that HMRC will check that those payments are correct and that they've been claimed in the right way at a later stage. But I think full details regarding the scheme will probably be published a bit nearer the time.
Thank you, Sundeep, for coming on this platform and sharing some valuable information on this important topic. My name is Gunjan Hazarika. I'm a television producer and director. My mission and goal is to go and find answers to your questions. All you have to do is ask those questions through a post, or you can email me. I will find experts who can answer for you. All you have to do is share these videos with your friends and family and let them get their answers too. It's a very simple platform. We are on Facebook page, we are on YouTube. This is your right, this is the platform, so let's connect.